Hello and welcome to another episode of the Policy Everyday Show. This is where we discuss all of the strategies that are going to help you write 30 policies in 30 days. My name is Ed Cortez and I help insurance brokers to sell more by attracting new customers using digital marketing. Today's topic is going to be content and how can you leverage content to help you attract more customers. And also, how can you differentiate yourself with content so customers come to you and not to a broker that they normally go to? So, I always say that when it comes to insurance, there are always going to be three types of persons. The ones that are in the market, and those are the ones that are actively looking for a certain insurance product. And they will normally go to Google and do search terms that include a keyword that shows buying intent. For instance, life insurance quotes or cheap car insurance. So all of those search terms, they indicate a buying intent. And that group has that audience has this type of person, the ones that are within maybe within 10 days they're going to make a purchasing decision and buy that product. Now the second group includes the types of persons that they can be persuaded to buy an insurance product. They are not actively looking for one, but given the right incentive, and they can go and make that buying decision. And that group is a lot bigger than the first group. And that's where content comes in. When you go and you create content that educates, that creates that feeling that this person needs this insurance, then you're likely going to make that sale. So content is your biggest ally among the second group of people in the internet. And of course, the third group are the ones that will not buy the product, the insurance product, because maybe they have absolutely no interest and or they have no need or they can't afford. So there are many reasons, but of course there are always those three types of persons. Now, there are many routes that will allow you to write 30 policies in 30 days. And it depends on which group of people you want to focus on. For instance, if you want to focus on the in-market audience, so people looking to buy an insurance product, then all you need is really direct offers with ads, so Google ads, or maybe you do Facebook placements and interest segmentation with direct offers, and you're going to focus on that group. But one route that is extremely effective to help you sell to the second group, the ones that will need a little bit of convincing, is going to be content. So having a content strategy, creating content, and then attracting your audience to your to where you're placing that content is going to be the winner. Is going to be the strategy that is going to allow you to write easily 30 policies in 30 days. Now, when you start creating content, there's a side effect that is very much desired, which is authority. Whenever you start to create content around a specific topic and that audience starts to consume your content, then you become an authority on that matter for that person, for that audience. And people like to uh, do business and interact and buy from authorities. So that is a side effect that you're going to see happening as soon as you start your content distribution strategy. Now, in a highly competitive insurance market, this is something that is going to help you a lot, because once you become the authority and you become the subject matter expert, it's highly unlikely that a buyer is going to shop and compare you against other brokers. They're going to trust you. They're going to see that you are a public voice, and that is going to be the differentiating factor for you. So side effect, not only you're going to get and attract new customers, but you're going to become the expert. So I had to say that you get two benefits there with this strategy. Now, if you want to move forward with this content strategy and start creating your content strategy, then you have to understand that this strategy is going to sit on three pillars. And those are the shortcuts that once you know that they exist, you're going to get there a lot faster. So the first one is what I'm going to call the technical pillar. So this is basically where you're going to create your content. And there are many platforms out there where they can host your content. And which one you're going to choose? So that depends on two things. First one is where is more comfortable for you to start to create and publish content. And the second one is where your ideal client is. Because it doesn't make sense for you to start creating content and making it available in a platform where your ideal client is not. For instance, nowadays, TikTok is a platform where content creators are, but that's not typically where a more mature between 40 to 60 years olds are. So it wouldn't make sense for you to select TikTok as your platform because you're going to be creating content, and if your audience is above 40 years old, it's likely not going to be where they are. So you have to pick one, a platform that you feel comfortable with, and two, where your audience is. So your options are typically Instagram. And Instagram is going to be a good platform for short contents. So contents between 1 and 5 minutes are going to do well. So it's going to be really snippets that you give, and that is going to be consumed very easily by your audience, and they start to follow you. Now, the other platform that you can pick is YouTube. And YouTube is going to work better for long content. So contents between 15 and 30 minutes if you're going to go that route. And that route has advantages. When you start to create long content, the likelihood that you're going to be in depth on a specific topic is going to be a lot more. So your audience is going to see you as an even more expert in that matter. So long content could work for you between 15 and 30 minutes, but YouTube is normally the place where people go for long content. Then, of course, you have Facebook, and Facebook is a mix of both types of contents. Short contents will do well, long contents will do well as well. You just have to think if your ideal customer profile, your ideal client is in Facebook. There has already been a shift in people leaving Facebook and going to other platforms. So just think about that. Then, of course, you have LinkedIn. LinkedIn became a very good platform for content in the past few years, especially when they launched a section called LinkedIn Posts. So LinkedIn Posts allows you to create content and publish there. And of course, LinkedIn has a more corporate audience, so you're going to be in a much more professional environment than with Instagram, for instance. So LinkedIn Posts allows you to create written content as well as publish videos that are hosted on YouTube. So you also get a little bit of both. So if your ideal client is in the corporate world, so maybe you're trying to focus on D&O, more of a corporate insurance, then LinkedIn could be your platform. And then, of course, you have the possibility to create content on the web. So those would be blogs, and they could be your blog or content aggregators like Medium. So you could be creating content on the web, and they are good for long form content that answer a specific question. So if you go to research websites and you find out that a specific question comes up frequently, then you can create a content around that and then publish. Now, that is probably going to be the one that I'm going to recommend the least, the web and blogs, just because in reality, nowadays, video content is a lot better. It's performing a lot better. So my recommendation would be for you to focus on creating video content. And I'm going to address the elephant in the room, which is if you are shy to record. And there are a few ways to address that. And the first one is really understand that this is the new way of selling, and there's no way around it. The days of cold calling, cold emailing, they're long gone. This is the way to do marketing nowadays, and it requires a format that when you adapt to this format and you start to record videos, you're going to do well. So the first one is really convincing yourself that, yeah, it's the way to go. Then the second one is using aids to help you alleviate whatever is holding you back. So perhaps you can use scripts, and I'm going to address how you do your content later in this episode. But if you have a script that allows you to support yourself, and then it becomes more natural, then you can use teleprompter. Teleprompters are apps that creates a widget in your phone, and then you have the camera in your phone. So it would be like this: you have the camera here, you would look at the camera, but then here a widget would show up with your text, and then all you have to do is read and then you get a little bit of a guide there on your content creation. So the third thing that I want to know is that I want to tell you is, don't worry about it. When you first start creating content, your audience is going to be small. It's not like you're going to create a video and it's going to be viral and you're going to have hundreds of thousands of viewers. It's not going to be like that. Everybody starts small with just a handful of viewers, subscribers, and then you start to create more content, and in a few months you have already developed that skill, but you have already grown your base of subscribers, and they start to interact with you, and they actually become acquaintances. So it's going to be a lot more natural for you to talk to the camera, because you know that they're going to be the same people that you normally interact with on the other side. So don't worry about that. I had to just address this elephant in the room, which is being shy and not wanting to record. Just go over. The other thing you could think is why you're doing it, right? We all have a purpose. So think about, okay, you understand why you're recording video. It is to get your audience and then sell to your audience, but there's a higher purpose, right? So you want to protect families, you want to provide to your own family. So there's always a bigger purpose. And when you put that in context, being shy and not wanting to record videos becomes a much smaller problem for you, right? So let's go over the second pillar, which is your editorial line. So the editorial line is the type of content that you're going to create. And really, it can be either written or video content. Okay, so my recommendation is going to be video. We have already addressed that. Then the other thing we need to discuss is how often you're going to be present with your audience. So how often you're going to provide your content. Then there there's something called protocol, and that is the recipe. So the recipe known by internet marketers and that has been proven to work is to create content twice per week. So you pick a date and time. And why is it important to pick a date and time? Because it sets a commitment with your audience. So you pick 2 days in a week, pick a time, and that's it. Be if it is a holiday, if it is your birthday, it doesn't matter. You have to realize that content is an obligation. It's a commitment. The moment that you don't do it is the moment that your audience is going to see that you're not committed to them. So there's going to be a price that you pay. So think about content, a commitment that you're doing with a community, your community, right? So if twice a week is too much for you, then you can think about doing once a week. If you're starting, that's fine. But like I said, there's a protocol, and creating content, building an audience, being able to sell to that audience is going to take some time. And the more you do it, the faster you're going to get there. So if you really want to turn the boost on and get your audience fast, then perhaps you can do once a day, every day, right? So think about all of the possibilities to create more content that is going to allow you to get there faster. Now, how about duration, right? We're still talking here about the second pillar, which is the editorial line. So editorial line is where you set what you're going to do, when, how, for how long. And the duration is normally something between 15 and 30 minutes. So your content needs to allow you to speak for that amount of time. So 15 to 30 minutes. Less than 15 minutes is going to be a very shallow content. So it's not going to allow you to be the authority and become the authority. And something longer than 30 minutes is going to be hard to capture the attention for that long. So 15 to 30 minutes, you're going to be all right. Now, how can you do your content? And there are essentially 3 ways to do it. The first one is Q&A style. So you, on the Q&A style, it is you as the expert answering questions from your audience. Now, the natural question is, what if I don't have questions? Well, you probably don't have questions from your audience, from your online audience, but you have questions from your clients, right? So you've been an insurance broker and you have a client base and you normally know what they ask. So you could write those questions and you go in front of the camera and you start addressing those questions. You can say, look, a common question that I get is, who can benefit from life insurance? So you come prepared to your content, to your show with questions. Now, the other type of content that you can create is the interview style. So you could bring someone to interview you or to discuss a topic with you. So it could be a colleague, another broker, it could be a client, it could be someone that wants to be a client. So or it could be someone that is in an area related to the same ideal client profile that you have. So let's say that you want to focus on selling life insurance to doctors. Then you could bring to your show a accountant that also specializes in doctors. So you're both creating content that doctors are going to benefit from, each from their own perspective, but you're going to get that audience, right? So that's how it works. Then you have the masterclass style. So a masterclass is where you pick a theme, you pick a topic, and you're going to talk everything that there is about that topic. So you translate in terms that someone like your ideal client profile will understand, your avatar will understand a specific topic. Okay, so those are the three ways that you can create topic, and you can mix and match. You can do 1 week one type of content, then you do another one. That's totally fine. Then there's the mechanism. So do you want your content to be live, or do you want it to be recorded? And there are pros and cons to each one. The recorded gives you a safety net. So if you're talking and you're explaining something and you say something wrong, or you say something that you didn't want to say, you can always erase the recording, do it again, and you're going to have a final product. Now the live has also benefits because it's easier to make. You basically go to Instagram and you go live, you go to YouTube and you go live, and something interesting happens, because when you're live, you don't have that safety net. It appears that your brain works on a different level. So as soon as you start doing, you will see that happening to you. It's extremely common, but you're going to be way more natural. Okay, so that's what's going to happen. Now, don't worry about being live and not having an audience. That's totally fine if you're going to speak by yourself. In the beginning, that's likely going to happen. Now, the live is always recorded. When you go live on Instagram, it gets saved to your IGTV. When you go live on YouTube, it also saves in your feed. So you will be allowed to share the replays later and distribute your content. So don't worry with that. Now, we can move to the third pillar, which is the content, right? So we discussed where you're going to do it, how you're going to do it, then what is going to be inside your show, your content. And I have a way of giving you plenty of material for at least 4 months of content. And basically what you have to do is grab a pen and a paper, and then you're going to write on the top of the first page objections. And then you're going to list all of the objections that you have heard someone say when you try to sell a specific insurance product. So let's imagine that you're going to pick life insurance as your focus product. Then you could list objections like, I don't need, I can't afford, I already have investments. So those are all typical objections that you could hear, and they will always be good topics for content. So you could pick one of those objections and create a 15 to 30 minute video handling on that objection, handling that objection. Now, in the second page, you're going to write limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs are things that your audience might think that it is true for a fact. They believe in that, but it's false. So again, with life insurance, a common limiting belief is going to be, I already have real estate. I don't need life insurance. And then you can address that. You can explain how that's not true, how that imposes problems with on dealing that for the heritage. So you address that. So you address the limiting beliefs, and then on the third page you're going to write common questions. So every time that you present a product to someone, what are common questions that you get? For instance, how is that taxation? Is life insurance a smart investment? Those are all common questions that people normally get. Insurance brokers normally have to answer. So they are good topics for your content. Now, once you have completed this exercise, you're going to look at those 3 pages, and you're probably going to have maybe 10, 12 topics there. And if you're doing content once a week or twice a week, that is going to be enough for 3 to 4 months. Now, what happens after that? Well, that's where something every content creator starts to see, and it's going to happen with you as well. You're going to see comments from your audience. They're going to start to interact with you. They're going to send you questions, and that becomes an eternal loop. You're going to have content from that's going to be infinite. Okay, so don't worry about with what you're going to talk about. It is going to come naturally. Just start, get your first 12 topics out there, line them up, and start creating. It's going to allow you to create more as you go. Now, one good way of dealing with content is creating a script. So your script normally is going to have three sections. The first one is your intro. So this is where you're going to greet your audience, maybe tell your name, a little bit of your story, why you do this. And then the second section is going to be the topic. So you're going to discuss the topic. This is where the content comes. And then you're going to close with a call to action, where you're going to offer a free consultation service. You're going to offer them to reach out on direct message and ask you about something. So it's going to allow you to really get in touch with your audience. Now, when you first start to create your audience, you're going to need to distribute that content. So this is something that insurance brokers normally don't get, which is when you create content, it's not going to reach your ideal client. It basically doesn't happen like that. You need to push it, and you push it with a small marketing investment. So this is where the biggest return on your investment comes in. You're going to create a distribution campaign for your recorded content. So that is going to allow your client, your future client, to see your content, to watch what you said, to watch your show. And then they're going to subscribe, follow you, and then they're going to start to create a relationship with you. So that's how you do it. You first record, then you create a distribution campaign with a very small budget. Just to give you a reference, you can expect to pay as little as 5 cents per minute that someone watched your video. So it's a very, very small budget there that you have. Now, the other thing that you can do is create a campaign to obtain followers. And that works especially if you choose to use Instagram as your content platform. Now, the way you do this is you record a video just saying something like this: hey, my name is Ed, and I create content for entrepreneurs that want to protect themselves against risks of the business. And I do that on my Instagram profile. All you have to do is swipe up and follow me. So it's a very short video and invites people to follow you. And then you create a campaign that is going to drive traffic to your Instagram profile where they can follow you. So it's a good way for people to start following you and then having access to your content that is going to be in your profile. Now, once you've done all that, how do you sell? We're in the business of selling. I want money to go into your pocket. So how can you transform followers into buyers? How can you make that shift? So the way to do it is to watch signs from your audience. As soon as you start to create your content and you have your calls to action in the script, if you start to see people reaching out to you on direct messages or commenting on your content asking for quotes, then it is a good sign that your audience is ready to buy. So I'm going to encourage you to first watch that sign appear, and then once a month, start to create a special. So you pick a week of the month, be it the third week of the month, and every third week of the month, you're going to create a special. You're going to create a theme, and it could be Mother's Day, it could be Father's Day, it could be whatever. Just pick a theme that relates to what you're going to sell. And then in that week, you go into sell mode. So your content is going to be a lot more focused on not educating, but on converting, on telling people, hey, there's a special going on. You need to direct message me. Don't miss this opportunity. Use some mental triggers on them, like scarcity, urgency, and then you're going to convert followers into buyers. That's how you do it. Yeah, of course. I'm telling you that you pick 1 week, so it means that out of the 4 weeks of the month, you're going to put a lot of focus on selling on this week, and it's going to pay off. But it doesn't mean that you won't sell on the other weeks. It just means that your focus on is going to be creating content to educate and bring audience on 3 weeks and selling on 1 week. All right. So that wraps up the strategy for content creation. Let me know if this content made sense for you. Let me know if you're going to get over the block of recording videos. Leave a comment in this video. I love to hear from you. And also in this content, in this channel, I provide content that is going to allow you to win, to have strategies that are going to attract clients and let you write more policies every month. So every Wednesday and Friday, I publish new content here. So make sure that you subscribe to get all of the notifications. And I'm going to see you in the next episode. Bye.